Good morning. This is Cindy from Ideas Times 2, and I have a short tutorial for you today. I bought these playing cards online a couple of weeks ago for a steampunk journal that I'm making, and I thought before I took them out of the box that I would just be able to take them out of the box and stick them in as little ephemera cards. But they were just too clean. They were too white and too shiny, and I thought I needed to do something with them. So I went online and watched a number of videos and took some ideas from a number of different people, but my favorite video, and the one that I like the best for my specific project, was Tracie Fox. And so I'm going to show you what I did, liberally taking her ideas. Thank you, Tracie, for your creativity. I appreciate it, and my journal will appreciate it too. So the first thing you need to do is sand your playing card. The card is so slick that if you don't, the Mod Podge and whatever medium you put over the top of it is just not going to stick. So make sure that you get the corners really well, because at least for me, that's where I kind of fell down on the job on that the first time I started this project. So you'll notice that as you take the shine off, you'll take some of the color off as well, and that's okay. We're going to cover it up anyway, and it adds a little bit more of an aged patina to your project, which is what you're going to want anyway if you're like me. So once you've sanded that, you need to decide what you're going to put on top. And a couple of choices, maybe a pretty paper napkin or an old sewing pattern. And a third option would be a pretty tissue paper. Just really anything that is going to be translucent enough to be able to see that you're actually using a playing card. So I'm going to use this napkin. I thought it was pretty and bright, and it's very thick, so it's actually not going to show through. The playing card won't show through. So this is a trick I picked up online in order to easily separate the plies using packing tape, or in this case just white duct tape. You can see what a nice job that did, taking that first ply off. And this napkin has 3 plies, so I'm going to do it one more time, get it down to its thinnest layer, and that's slick. And I don't need very much for this project, and the rest I will save for later. See? Pretty nice, huh? And then using a Mod Podge, I'm using a matte finish just because that's my personal preference, but whatever you have in the house will work fine for this project. If you prefer shiny, then go for it. So make sure your entire card is covered, and let's see. Put your napkin, your tissue paper, whatever, on the top, and then carefully get rid of the wrinkles. And make sure you get it down all the way around the corners, and then set it aside to dry. It doesn't take too long to dry, maybe 45 minutes or an hour will get it nice and dry. But I think that for everything else, for all of the other steps, it's important that you dry between each of the steps. So then once that's dry, you might want to do some decoupage on the top, and so for this one I wanted to just put this little canceled stamp just going to put it here down on the bottom. And you don't need too much of the Mod Podge. You want just enough for it to stick. And even though I do pretty much age everything, I did not age this one, not yet. And it did go over the edge a little bit, but that's okay because I'm going to trim it down anyway after everything is dry. So here's one that I did earlier, and it's dry. And so what I'm going to do next is, using archival ink, I'm going to just age the entire thing. My fingers are a little sticky. And I think that doing the whole thing is a good idea. It gives you a nice aged patina, and I am going to do the edges again later after everything is done. The next step for me is to using some StazOn, just a standard brown, timber brown StazOn, and a Hero Arts scripted rubber stamp. I'm going to just stamp the whole thing. And the StazOn dries really fast, and so once that's dry, go ahead and trim off your tissue or your napkin. Usually I trim from the back so that I can see what I'm doing. I have no idea why. I'm trimming from the front this time. And those little pieces I'm probably going to save. They might come in handy for another project. And there we go. Oops, let me do that corner again. It's a little rough. There we go. And the last step is a little more Mod Podge over the whole thing. And I like the matte finish, like I said. Once it's dry, it will have a nice, still leave a nice texture. So there you go. So what can you do with that when you're done? Well, I'm going to leave that one there to dry. I have a number that I have already finished, and here's one I still need to do something with. I am going to make that into a little journaling page, like this one. And so this is the same napkin that I just used with the stamp on it. So the one that we just made together is going to be similar to this one. And on the back I sewed a piece of coffee stained paper, and it can be used as a little journal, and I think that turned out really cute. I may add that to my Deserted Island Challenge book now that the challenge is over, and I just think it's such a pretty color and very tropical looking, so I might add that to my journal. And it's a stamp from Jamaica, so I might do that. Here's another one that I did. This one is for my steampunk journal, and I used a little dictionary definition on there for mechanize and mechanotherapy to go with my theme. And I just left the back like the card, because the regular card back, because I wanted to leave the clockworks and gears on there. But I did add a little charm and put a hole with the rivet on there to give it a little bit more metal for my journal. And then this idea I got from Tracie Fox, and sewed 4 of them together just on one piece of coffee stained paper. I sewed them together and folded it like a little concertina book, and I'm going to put this in at some point in the pocket of a journal, or maybe I'll stick it in my purse and take it with me shopping. I don't know yet. It was just cute, and it was fun to make, and didn't take very much time. The most time-consuming part of this whole process is waiting for the Mod Podge to dry. But they are awfully cute, aren't they? And so when you have a project that's inexpensive and cute and can be used for lots of different things, I think that one's a winner. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please check out our other videos at ideastimestwo, or our blog, ideastimestwo.com. And I hope you have a great afternoon and enjoy the rest of your weekend.